Oh. Oh. Nothing? What?
Read the room, Pellio.
Any questions?
None.
Any questions? You'll remember that you can't spend any experience from last session. I'll remind all of you that the following is canon. You can hit rock bottom, but someone can always throw you a shovel. It's just a question as to whether whoever throws you something decides it should be a shovel or something else. Nyx.
The play did its job too well. Riots started in the theater and quickly led outside. While there was the distraction caused, I went to a representative of the guild and I got them involved. Thought they could march in and save the day. There was a battle set to erupt between the mob of the citizens of Nexus who had seen the show, the Dragon-Bloodeds of House Nellens, and the guild mercenaries. Zio was there, was captured, and was destroyed. Or was she? Five Paths was trying to fix her. I and River Jade stole the Sinus treasure from the guild and discovered that it was a paper that lists how Sinus plans to take control of, well, eventually, the throne, the Scarlet Empress's throne. We thought we could use it. We ran back. River Jade decided to attack a group of 15 dragon-blooded soldiers with sight of light rushing to her defense. Pellio killed the presumed leader of the dragon-blooded soldiers, Greenfang. But they're too strong. I tried to get the Sinus letter to Pellio. I thought he could fix it. I guess I was wrong.
You're currently hidden. And as you are hidden, you're in a unique position.
I just tried to pass the letter to Pellio, and now I'm prioritizing getting out of the way. I need to stay hidden. Hopefully no one's seen me yet. I dart backwards out of the crowd and get back to that alley where River Jade and I were hiding.
Relatively sure that no one knows where you are just yet, but there's so much dust being kicked up in the area right now, it's not even easy for you to tell what's going on.
All the same, I try to strain through the dust that's getting kicked up to see if I can tell where anybody is. I look back in the direction where I left Pellio.
Pellio has a moment of calm and clarity in him as he reaches down and picks Slashdance up off the ground. Looks up at the scores of dragon-blooded charging at him, and then races at them, screaming at the top of his lungs knowing full well that he's running towards his end. But it's a charge of the Light Brigade. And he runs at one of the dragon-blooded, who is smirking at his ally, seeing Pellio on his own charging at them, knowing full well that he can do them no harm whatsoever. And as the dragon-blooded turns to his left to laugh at Pellio, Slash Dance comes across and slices off his nose. Pellio is stunned. The dragon-blooded are stunned. There's a moment of silence when everyone's wondering whether what took place actually took place. And then Pellio is tackled to the ground by the other dragon-blooded, beaten to within an inch of his life. He can hear a few of them discussing whether or not he should be executed on the spot. A louder voice then emerges and orders them to stand down. They can't make him a martyr. He's politically too influential in Nexus. So a bag is stuffed over his head and he's bundled it somewhere into the barracks. As he's pushed into the barracks, he feels he can hear Jaya's voice very faintly in the background, shouting something indecipherable to him. Of the rest, he hears nothing. He's received a series of brutal injuries. The bag is still on his head. He knows nothing else.
Nyx sees him getting overpowered and taken away, but not killed on the spot, which is some kind of relief. And she looks for Five Paths, who she last remembers seeing with Zio.
Five Paths is indeed with Zio. It looks like he's frantically trying to reattach her head to her neck and torso. He's smoothing out bits of metal. He's trying to reattach things. And he is pouring essence into her. Even amongst the chaos, you can see him flare up with light as he's trying to do this. 3 dragon-blooded of the dragon-blooded converge on him. And you see him kind of drop into his mantis style and then look up and away for someone, but he drops his stance. And they move in, take him by the arms. They also put a bag on his head and lead him into the barracks.
It's harder for Nyx to turn towards River Jade because she knows what she ran into, but she's gonna look all the same towards River Jade and Sight of Light.
River Jade continues to defend Sight of Light and vice versa, taking one hit after the other. She even manages to knock out 2 of the dragon-blooded with her hammer before she's torn away from Sight of Light altogether. A guttural scream is suddenly heard amidst the chaos, the last sound heard from the dawn.
Is there any sign of Sight of Light?
Sight of Light has been swarmed, much like the others. It's difficult to fight off multiple opponents at the same time. You can see arms flailing out from between the bodies of dragon-blooded soldiers. At one point it seems that she tries to abandon her fight and merely is trying to get to where she last saw River Jade, but after a time you can hear a massive smash and dust pouring up from the ground from where she was, and then nothing.
And Zio?
Zio is still lying, albeit now with her head on her torso, but she isn't making any moves. She's just lying in the middle of the square.
And there'd be no way to get to her without being seen.
Absolutely not. There's dust, but not that much dust.
And Jaya?
Jaya is standing on a rooftop and her mouth is moving. Whether or not you can hear the screams that Pellio supposedly did, you can't hear what she's saying. However, it appears pretty clear that there's a detachment of some of the soldiers which are moving up towards the building, and she does not run, but instead crouches low in the same stance that Five Paths Ascending normally takes, but she as well is quickly overrun.
After a long moment, Nyx shakes herself out of the shock of seeing everybody overpowered and steps backwards into the alley, away from the fight.
As you start to step backwards, you see that one of the dragon-blooded, who currently is missing a chunk of his nose and there's blood running down his face, his eyes wild, looks around and then settles upon you. Or does he see you? It's not clear. But he is starting to move towards the alleyway, and he's gripping a sword in his hands. You can see his knuckles are white.
I turn, and just like I did on the day when I exalted, I run.
How fast?
As fast as I can. Faster.
Abandoning stealth?
No. As fast as I can and remain in stealth.
There are crowds here in Nexus. There's also buildings and rooftops. You can choose to try to move inside a building, run along top of them, or lose yourself in a crowd. You, unlike your companions, are currently unsullied when it comes to dust or blood.
I'm going to move through the crowds using easily overlooked presence. And I'm trying to get to the stables where I left my horse.
As you start moving into a crowd, and many of these crowds are moving towards the sound of battle as if they're curious as what's going on in the streets of Nexus. There are others believing it perhaps wiser for them to be moving away so that they're not implicated. And yet, this one dragon-blooded continues to move from one group to the next, his eyes wild, looking around as if he's begging for the chance to find one other person to taste his blade. A penalty that he wants to exact on anyone for what happened to him.
Can I tell how injured he is?
Not very.
Okay.
He's definitely got a mark on him, but you don't really need a whole nose to survive.
Okay. So I'm just going to try to avoid him and get to my horse.
He gets close enough to you that you can smell his sweat. But when he looks at you, he looks past you. And eventually, with a grunt, he whirls around and stalks back towards the battle. The stables are easily found. And at this point, by the time you get there, it's pretty clear that no one has followed you.
Find my horse.
Your horse seems very happy to see you.
I'm like absurdly relieved to see my horse. To see an ally still standing.
Appears to have been well taken care of. Plenty of oats.
Good. I unhitch her, get on, and leave the stables, making for the way with the least traffic possible to get to the port.
That shouldn't be a problem. It's not uncommon to see people riding through the streets with horses. They tend to be at least middle class. But nobody pays you that much mind.
I pat my pockets to make sure everything is still there.
You have what you came with, nothing more, nothing less.
I ride faster.
The port is peaceful. Albeit everybody is shouting at each other, trying to make sure that their shipments are getting in on time or that certain ships are making it to the correct pier. But compared to the battle that you left, this is easy.
I'm looking for a great house. It's one I remember seeing. The last time I was here, it was more of a reconnaissance. I was trying to get a feel for the political structure of Nexus. And so I made note of the great houses that house the great houses in the realm. I'm looking specifically for the one belonging to Nellens.
Nellens occupies a moderately sized mansion with a decent sized ground around it. Compared to the other houses, nothing. But of course, this is still a great house, and therefore it has a well-appointed villa for you to visit.
Guards outside?
There are people who are outside, but they don't seem to be anticipating any trouble.
Okay.
It's still twilight out.
I'm gonna ride my horse around to the back.
So there is a small wall surrounding the grounds, a wall that maybe just comes up to your hips. So people can see over it quite easily, but it's really more of a boundary, less of a fence to keep people out.
I dismount and hitch Morga to an area nearby, out of sight
There's
as
a
possible.
tree.
And I'm going to try my best to get into this house unobserved.
I want you to roll me your dexterity. No, your wits and stealth. Your difficulty is only 2. You'll get 2 dice for this.
Oh, thank you, Liz from 2 weeks ago, getting stealth 5. Oh, yeah. It's 5 successes.
These people on patrol outside move like clockwork. It's child's play for you to be able to tell when they will be looking and when they won't. And it's easy for them to miss one lone night cast, stealing your way in. You have your run of the house. Where would you choose to go?
Well, you said it's twilight?
It's twilight outside, yes. More 5 paths, less Jaya.
Nice.
And not quite you.
Not quite nice. So if it's after dinner, and even if it's before, I think whoever holds the position of highest importance here is probably in a study or an office of some kind, so that's what I'm looking for.
There is a study. The study here is really more of an excuse to drink than it is a place that genuine study takes place. But more than one business deal has been arranged here, more than one subversive contract, more than one assassination request. The chairs here reek of luxury, though. Overstuffed with the finest leather. Leather that's been softened to a degree that you can simply disappear in one of these chairs if you really wanted to. There is a man who's sitting at one of these chairs. He has a drink on a side table, and he has a book that he's looking at with a sort of sardonic smile. The man's hair, cut very traditionally, flaming red. And his eyes squint every once in a while, as if maybe this book is just a bit too small type for a darkened room. The only light coming in from either the outside or from a small candle that is set on the side table next to the drink.
Is there anything about him that would indicate that he is dragon-blooded?
Not that you can tell.
I'd like to start the 5 minutes it will take to profile character.
So you're watching him for 5 minutes from where? From outside the window, from inside the room?
From inside the room.
Ducked behind a curtain.
Yeah.
To your back, against your spine, you can feel old books and smell musty pages. The kind of books that people collect because it's fashionable, less because they're desirable or even useful. But as you see him, he moves with the precision of somebody who has definitely studied war. This is a person who has been given a post as a reward, but it's more of a punishment. He's a man of action, and he wishes more than anything that he could be participating in a campaign, to be a leader of an army instead of a leader of bureaucrats. But here he is, and he will serve, and he will serve gladly, for the house has treated him well and given him the training that he needed. His self-assuredness almost guarantees that he is one of the chosen.
I want to step out from behind the curtain.
He's still looking at his book, so he doesn't immediately see you.
May I have a word?
There's definitely a sharp uptick to his head, but to his credit, he doesn't leap out of his chair. He very carefully takes the ribbon built into the spine and places it in the book and closes it and sets it down. You can tell by its title that it's a work of fiction.
You never know. Oh, that'd be great. Okay.
I take it you don't have an appointment.
No. This was too urgent to go through the regular channels. Can I sit?
By all means. But if you want something to drink, the sideboard's over there.
No, I'm good. You're with House Nellens.
Yes. And I assume you're not.
No. But I might have some information that could serve our mutual interests. How do you feel about House Sinus?
Is this a personal question?
Both.
I need to ask why I should answer your questions, as a common courtesy.
There are things I can't disclose without knowing where you stand with them. This is the only question I'll ask before I tell you what I have. I promise you.
You look like you keep your promises.
I do.
House Nellens understands that Sinus is a great house, one that is capable of changing the course of creation should it so choose, that it is currently one of the contenders for the throne. We are not. We understand and accept this. We do not have any official alliance, nor do we have any official enmity towards the house. It exists, and we are willing to listen. I cannot stand them. To buy and sell men and women is distasteful to me. I have sent soldiers to their death, but every single one of them decided that it was the life they wanted, or at the very least, the life they chose to take. I do not respect someone who makes that choice for them.
That is what I needed to hear. And I want to roll on what he said, just in case he's just telling me what I want to hear.
Nuts.
Guile? Sure. 3,
I have a little bit.
That's 4. So I guess like I'm looking to see.
He has a
intimacies
minor
with
intimacy
Sinus.
of hatred towards slavery and a minor intimacy of, let's say, revulsion to House Sinus.
Oh, good. I take out the paper from my pocket that I had grabbed back from Pellio when I realized he wasn't going to use it. And it hurt to do so. It hurt to pickpocket from you.
Oh.
I'm glad you did.
What is this?
This recently came into my possession. It is a list of names and positions held by various people who are spies for Sinus, informants. People placed in strategic positions of power, all with the aim of getting Sinus the throne. It was very heavily guarded. I have it, and this is not the only copy.
Don't rush me.
She's feeling her oats. All right.
And what do you want in exchange for this piece of paper?
You and I and the ones I work with see eye to eye on Sinus's distasteful activities. They recently forcibly conscripted an entire town's worth of people. They shouldn't have done that. All I want to see is a house that is not Sinus. Be more comfortable in Nexus and in the realm. Did you hear the battle that was raging earlier today? You must have gotten word of it.
We heard of a brawl. It would seem that there was a theater performance that went wrong.
The theater performance simply pointed out some truths about Sinus that they didn't want to hear. A riot subsequently formed. My associates might have been taken prisoner by Sinus. I need to get them back, but that's my business. What I need you to do is parley with Sinus. I need Nellens to absorb House Sinus.
You're speaking of a minnow absorbing a shark.
The minnow has a very large hammer. And I wave this and shed a single tear.
Nope.
Is there anyone from my house on that piece of paper?
Sorry,
Is there anyone from my house on that piece of paper?
is there?
There's one, but they're not located in Nexus. They're on the Blessed Isle currently.
Yes.
Then I'll make a deal with you. Tell me one name, that name, on that piece of paper, and if I believe that that is accurate, then I'm willing to take a look at the rest. And if not, my assumption is that it's a fraud. You're gambling on that one name and of my opinion of that person. And those are my terms. But Bear has always been a reasonable man.
Bear? B-A-E-R?
B-E-A-R. As in rar.
Accepted. And I cast an eye to what the name is.
Sorry?
I check what the name is.
It's a name.
I say the name with great confidence.
It takes him about 2 very long minutes for him to go over each and every name on the list. And while I'm sure that he'd be very proud of his ability to keep his, thoughts concealed from you, you've already beaten his guile once. And you can tell that some of the names surprise him, others he nods. And once, towards the end, he even chuckles. He puts the piece of paper down next to the book that he's reading. Upon further examination, the title is simply The Happy Dog. And the book seems intended for children.
Oh, that's nice.
You want Nellens to absorb Sinus. What is it that you really want?
Sinus needs to end. Up until today, I assumed that meant destroyed. And now I see that it needs to be taken over by someone who we can work with.
And who is this we that we're speaking of now?
What if I told you it doesn't matter? Because I'm not sure if it does.
Whether or not you think it matters doesn't mean that I do. I don't make deals with people I don't know. And while I have seen this page, while I am eager to test its merits, I need to know who I'm dealing with.
I don't think you're going to like what you hear.
You may be surprised.
What are your feelings on the Solar Exalted? And I'm gonna roll on that.
I'll give you a chance to roll in a moment. I know that 3 of them are going to die. captured and taken inside a sinus barracks is not a place that I would want anybody, even one of those.
They are not going to die.
You seem awfully confident.
I am.
Why?
I'm very good at not being seen. I'm very good at stealing things. She snatches the paper back again.
It's easily done. It's
Cool.
Stealing a piece of paper isn't the same as taking a life out from the hands of those who would trade in them.
Let me worry about that. I'm not asking you to pick a lock.
Then what are you asking me to do?
I'm asking you to draw them out using the information I just handed you on a silver platter. Draw them out. They're weakened, not by much, but they are. They have lost any support of the guild they may have had. They've lost the support of the populace in that neighborhood. You have the support of the peasants, the patricians.
You've asked me to make a deal with a devil. Does the devil have a name?
Am I the devil in this situation? Me? Nyx.
Nyx, you may have overestimated me, but I will not underestimate you. I'll do what I can, but it is going to take some time.
How much?
I'm not certain it's going to be enough time to save 3 lives.
It's going to have to be.
You can roll now. 2 dice, 1 success. Your difficulty is still 3. And you'll regain 1 willpower if you so choose.
Thank you. That's 4 successes.
He has no particular intimacies towards the Solar Exalted one way or the other, which, for somebody who is ostensibly a part of the realm, somewhat exceptional. But that doesn't mean he supports you, just that he doesn't have any ingrained hate for you.
For Nyx, that's a win, you know? That's...
Yikes. I mean, fair.
You don't hate me? Thank God. You have to admit, this is pretty exciting.
I have no idea if this will move fast enough to save them. But I will try.
You're leading an army of sorts. It's been quite some time since you have, I imagine.
There is no army here. I have accountants and coin pushers, which is why it's going to take me a bit of time. If I don't arrange for a certain amount of protection, the instant that I step forward and open my mouth, an arrow will find the back of my throat.
Make sure they know that there are many, many copies of this, and that they're all safe, and they're all set to go off at any time.
I cannot be seen negotiating for the lives.
You won't be. Like I said, I just need them out of the house so I can throw a party. A full party. To be fair, I'm throwing you out the window. I'm like, that's what I'm doing.
Fly. Oh, no.
Pellio, you wake up to the sound of metal crashing on metal in a rhythmic fashion. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. You can't see, there's still a bag over your head. You hear the hiss of hot metal disappearing into water. You hear the roar of fire, and you can smell the sweat of those who are working the bellows, making sure that that fire stays as hot as it can. But you are conscious. Your hands are bound, as are your feet, as are your knees. Your weapon is not on your person. But you're alive.
Do I sense anybody's presence around me?
There's definitely at least 2 people in this room. One of them is presumably the one at an anvil, and the other one is sitting quite close to you.
But they're not speaking.
Not at the moment, no.
Can I engage sensory acuity prana to listen for anything else
Yes.
in the outside? I just want to get as much sensory information as I possibly can. Should I roll for that?
No. There are 2 other people in the room besides the 2 that I spoke of. They're just sitting in further corners or perhaps close to the door. They're breathing, but not doing much else. There seems to be only one person, however, who is doing matters that would require the use of a forge.
Do I have a sense of what time of day it is, whether the fight is still raging outside?
You can't hear a fight outside. He's awake. You hear not quite a woman's voice say, "This isn't really what I signed up for." It's not every day that you sharpen an executioner's axe in front of the prisoner.
I'd like to pretend as though I don't have enough air in the bag and that I'm hyperventilating or choking. I'm suffocating.
Okay. You get a kick from whoever is next to you. Cut it out. Are you keeping up the charade or not?
Yeah.
You feel a rough, burly hand just snatch the top of the bag, taking some of your hair in its grasp as well, and then you hear, you even think about trying to talk your way out, step your way out, or fight your way out, and I'll make sure that the death that's definitely coming for you will be very, very painful, but no less quick. Not if you understand.
He nods.
He rips off the bag, and for a moment the light is blinding, orange and white, as the fire roars in front of you. There are 3 of the dragon-blooded, not the one whose nose you cut. One of them is sitting next to you, and one of them is sitting at each door. Each of them have their hands on their weapons.
Oh, damn.
And there's a girl not quite a woman, but almost, who is working the forge here. She's sharpening, indeed, a very, very, very large axe. She, in fact, despite the fact that she has the muscles of somebody who's been working in a forge for quite some time, has difficulty lifting it, for it seems to be made of materials that she does not quite have the attunement for.
When will it happen?
Tomorrow. Which is... Well, he doesn't look at his wrist. He does not have a watch. That's not a thing. He will tilt his head instead to look outside at the stars. A few hours at most.
Yikes.
Do you have regrets? I'd have regrets if I were you.
Does it matter? Will it change the course of my life?
Might please you to hear. Every single person who attended the play is either dead or in chains.
They were in chains before they walked into that theater.
It's a waste, isn't it? You had to put on a show, and all they got from it is what? To hand you back to Sinus.
And so what does Sinus accomplish in executing me? And why wait until tomorrow? Do it now.
We kill you now, we make you a martyr. We expose you for the crimes you've committed, the evidence that you have contributed towards all of our business dealings here in Nexus for over the course of several years. And we arrange for the fact that you die not by Sinus hands, but by the guild. Ah, you're no longer a martyr then, are you? A pity you'll have no chance to speak in your defense.
And why would the guild execute someone who has not been given the opportunity to defend themselves in a trial?
Trials are things found in storybooks, bad poetry, and worse plays. You are anathema. There is no trial for that. If the realm doesn't kill you, someone else will. You're here trying to scrabble your way out of a hole, not understanding that there isn't a world above for you anymore. We've moved past you. We've moved on. There's no place for you.
So I disgust you, don't I?
No. To disgust me, you would have to matter. You are less than an ant to me. You are beneath my notice. You are a broken leaf.
Do you notice me now? And I want to deliberately flare up my cast mark and try to provoke as much of a bonfire as I can. I want to, if I can, I don't know if there's a way of doing this. Can I just like spam charms and like literally to bonfire myself?
Yeah, you could just dump a shit ton of essence into it. How much peripheral essence do you even have currently?
Doesn't have much.
I don't have much. I have 8 left.
You have 8 left, and how much personal?
13.
So your personal won't go into your anima at all. and your peripheral will be enough to illuminate your cast mark. You just don't have the juice.
That's a cool idea, though.
He smashes his fist into your forehead, though. Not enough to do you any damage. Enough maybe to send your head snapping back for a second. But enough that when he pulls his fist away, you can see that there's a small redness matching your cast mark, as if it's a very gentle sunburn on his fist. I want you to understand something. I want you to know before we send you back where you came from. You are nothing more than an idiot. Full of noise and wrath, and you mean zero. How's it coming? It's sharp. I don't think it needed my help to be any sharper, but it's sharp. You should thank her. She's the reason that your head is going to come off cleanly. It's okay, you can look at him. He's already dead. And when she looks at you, there's something about her nose. It's familiar. The muscles in her arms, the way that she tosses her hair away from her eyes. But it couldn't be River Jade. She's too young to be River Jade.
I look up at her and I smile benignly and I thank her. Thank you for your clemency and for the subtle touch of your anvil. You bear a very striking resemblance to a dear friend that I lost.
I wouldn't listen to him. He's a deceiver.
I wouldn't listen to them either, you know. Just try to listen to yourself.
I made the axe sharp. That's what I knew to do.
Who taught you?
My family, why?
Because you're very lucky to have a family that would teach you such things.
This is strange. I don't want to be here. You're going to stay until that is sharp enough to slice a single hair from my head. Then you can go. But you don't have to listen to him if you don't want to.
I don't think you have to listen to anybody if you don't want to.
You need to shut your smart mouth.
I do. You're right. My smart mouth has done far more evil than good in my life.
She puts down the axe and then she looks up at you. What evil have you done?
I've lied. Pathologically, compulsively, fashionably, occasionally, but you know, I've lied to myself, and I hope that I'll have the chance to mend that in some way before it's too late. I don't think your colleagues here will afford me that chance, the chance to redeem myself, to repent.
I don't think there's any such thing as redemption for people like you.
Perhaps you're right. I'm sorry, but I find you so strikingly similar to a dear friend. Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
I wouldn't answer him. East of here.
Yes. I wonder if you knew my friend River Jade. Anyway.
Yes.
Dude.
River Jade.
Yeah, I'm cool. Let me turn the mic back on.
Nothing to see.
River Jade, you have been used to pain. One of the dangers of working in a forge is that a hot shard flies away and tucks itself underneath a protective apron, or the ring of a hammer again and again on your muscles wires them out, sores them. You have been slashed, run through, but it has never felt so full of body, so complete as it does now. And when you awaken, you can't see anything, but the bag that's over your head is wet and pressing against your cheek. So is a good portion of you. You know that you're no longer wearing your buff jacket, simply the undergarments that you would wear underneath it. You know, like the shirt and stuff, not straight up underwear. But your hammer is not with you. And you can't even sense it to call it back from elsewhere. The ground is very hard. It's made of stone, and it's damp.
Can I feel any immense pain as I wake?
You're in bad shape.
Okay.
The pain it's everywhere. But you can't tell at the moment if there's any particular injury that hurts more than another.
She's gonna just try and breathe.
The bag's wet, which means that every breath that you take tastes a little bit of stagnant water and iron.
She might actually try to like suck on some of the moisture as she's like breathing. To drink some water.
As you sit up, you realize that you're not bound.
Okay. Can I also try for my sensory acuity prana? Would I
Yep.
be able to do that in this state?
Yes.
Okay.
You
Do I
just
need
have to spend the
roll?
motes. No, just spend the motes.
Okay. Am I still in bonfire?
No,
Okay.
but you haven't been regaining motes.
I have 6 motes.
And how much is...
I'm looking. Just trying to find it.
think I
Sensory
had-
acuity prana, is that
Oh.
3 or 6?
I've
It's
got it
5,
here.
I think.
Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah.
There you go. Do I not have it?
Well, your cast mark starts to glow.
Oh, dude.
Oh no, it's mute. It's mute, isn't it?
A.
Sensory acuity prana? No, it doesn't have
Nope.
any keywords. Nope. Okay, yeah, your cast mark starts to glow.
It's visible through the bag.
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have a mirror to look at yourself right now. You also have a bag over your head.
Okay.
You can hear that there are 3 sets of breaths in the room. One of them is slow and rhythmic, somebody who must be asleep. And 2 of them are bored.
Oh, sorry. Am I boring you? Hello?
You say it just like that? No answer.
I know that there's some people in this cell. Please.
There aren't people in that cell. You're not people.
Right. Well, chosen. Then.
Chosen. Chosen. Chosen to die, maybe.
Yeah, it seems that way.
I can barely hear you anyway.
I said it seems that way.
Take the fucking bag off your head if you're going to talk to me. I want to see you.
She takes it off.
Ah. But when you raise your hand to take off the bag, it's not there.
Whoop.
She feels where her right hand once was.
I'm not going to give you the gory details of what it would feel like,
Thank you.
but it's not there.
Does she feel anything wet?
Aside from the bag? No. The blood would have already dried. And you are chosen. And so you do not bleed in the same way as others do.
My hand?
I'm sorry, did you say your hand or your head?
I said my hand.
Do you take the bag off with the other hand?
Yeah.
You are in a cell. There's 2 people sitting on the outside, 2 of the dragon-blooded. They recognize them as people who perhaps were fighting. And there's a burlap sack on the ground next to you, quite large.
What's in there? Answer me, what's in there?
I like this. I like the fact that you think I have to do what you say.
She goes to the bag, starts trying to open it.
It's got a knot on it, and while it's a little strange to undo a knot with one hand, it's actually not that hard for you. After all, you always have been as good with your left hand as your right.
I am ambidextrous, yes.
Not anymore.
Oh, God.
Now I'm just left-handed.
Below the belt, man.
Now you're just
Below the belt.
handed.
Oh, I'm sorry, would you rather that she just be dead? I can rewind this scene.
No, we're good. I'll just be over here. I'll just be over here.
Shut your pie hole.
When you open the bag, you see a metallic body inside.
Can I tell if Zio is alive?
I said that there were, aside from you, 3 sets of breaths in the room. One of them slow, rhythmic, as if asleep.
Okay.
Did you want it back?
I don't have to answer that. So I'm not going to. Because fuck you.
Thousands of years of conflict has been reduced to fuck you.
Sometimes it's all it takes.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
I love you, Jazz.
You're lucky the commander requested that you stay alive. Otherwise, I would have very much enjoyed sending you to meet your friend.
Which friend?
You're all the same to me.
Which friend?
And he just sits back in his chair, lifts his hands, and very deliberately just drums his fingers.
She's trying to get to her feet.
With some effort, you can definitely do that. You do, of course, have a lot of damage, but you have a certain amount of tolerance to pain, so you are able to struggle to your feet, yes.
She's sort of just like kind of cradling her right arm close to her body. And she's gonna like reach for like a wall to kind of steady herself a bit too.
Is that how you're gonna die? On your feet?
If I'm gonna die, it's gonna be on my feet. I refuse to bow to you.
You don't need to bow. You just need to kneel.
I will never kneel for you.
You already did. I remember seeing your face hit the dirt. It's a shame you don't bruise.
Is this not enough for you? She just holds it out. Is it? It's not enough? Huh?
What do you want from me?
I want to know what friend you're talking about, and then I will stop.
Like I said, you all look the same to me.
You said there's another person in the room? Or another?
There's a second person who has not spoken. She looks pretty furious.
Can I tell if she's like looking at me with some fury?
She's definitely looking at you with some fury, but you don't feel like it's directed directly at you.
Okay. Is she someone I would recognize from above?
Oh, she was one of the people swinging at you.
Okay.
You may have clocked her in the side at one point, but you didn't put her down. I mean, You were definitely smacking some people around with that hammer. It's pretty big, and you are pretty River Jade.
Pretty River Jade. Can I at least know the name? Your name?
So that you can work your magic on me?
You believe I'm that powerful, huh?
She stands up and she smashes two fists banded with metal around them just against the bars. You killed Fang.
I killed no one.
You and your kind. And for what?
For a better world. One that doesn't deal in trading people for profit.
So righteous. You destroyed the world once upon a time. And now you want to do it again because it isn't exactly to your liking?
She spits at both of you. Both of them.
5 paths ascending.
She's not long for this world.
Ooh.
Five paths ascending, you are in a room that smells of cork and oak.
This is a nice way to spend my last day.
You are bound, much in the same way that Pellio was bound. There is a glass that's overturned next to you. You can tell because when you shift, it rolls along the wooden floor. There's a form next to you.
A form? What kind?
Like an admissions
Like a
form
corpse.
for jail. Oh.
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 Yes, I also assumed a paper. Oh God, that's much worse.
Oh no. I don't want to know who it is.
All right. The glass was on the table. It's overturned. It was empty, I imagine.
It's empty, but there is a certain wetness along the ground that you can feel with your hand.
Can I reach over to this figure?
Your hands are bound behind you.
Oh, yes.
So
Right,
you
you
can
said- I can
turn around and scoot your way
look.
back.
I'm not I can see things obviously, so I'll look then. Are you all right?
Why didn't anybody hear me? I tried to surrender. Why didn't anybody hear me?
Our voices are only imbued with so much power.
I could have sworn I was shouting. Don't drink the water, it's poison.
What?
Don't drink the water.
How... How do you know it's poisoned?
I always was better at tasting food than you.
Well, that's not untrue, but... There must be something we can do.
It's pretty hard to fly when your wings are clipped.
I might be mistaken, but it sounds an awful lot like you're giving up.
I'm not giving up. I'm just thinking.
What are you thinking of? Our teachings? Or the power of a blazing sun inside of you?
It wasn't enough. She rolls away from you, and you can feel her hands slip into yours.
Oh.
The battle started, and I don't know if we ever had a chance of winning it. I tried, and my voice is the one they should be hearing. It's what I was placed here for. It's what I was supposed to do.
Well, in our next iteration of this experiment, we'll start with you speaking first, won't we? Try that out. I think it'll be more effective, don't you?
What experiment are you talking about?
Well, we tried one arrangement of how best to use our power to affect the world for good. It
Side of
didn't
Light,
work.
where is she? Where did she go?
I don't know. I don't know about anyone. I think I did something to Zio.
We're supposed to be executed tomorrow,
Oh.
which is not very far away now. So, we're in a wine cellar. I think.
It would seem that way.
I don't know why we're still together.
And why poisoned?
Some kind of joke.
It's not a very good one.
Do you love Pellio?
I don't know. What do you mean? But I mean, in what way? Why are you asking me this?
I was wondering what I could get you to fight for.
Oh.
I could tell you that the unconquered sun would be a great idea, but clearly I haven't been very good at letting people know about how much he cares about you. I could try Nyx or River Jade, but I don't even know where they are.
I think you're missing one.
I'm not going to be much help.
And why is that? Why do you believe that the power that is inside of you will not be useful? Jaya, come here.
She wriggles along the floor.
Am I like sitting on the, like I'm just trying to.
You were
I'm
lying
bound.
down on the ground.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna wriggle over to her then and just try to. I'm just gonna try to like boot my head against hers so we're touching, and at least.
He's come so far.
I don't know what we've gotten ourselves into, and I know it doesn't look good. But you're right, what you told me. You said you wanted to help the rest of creation fly. And we can't do that from in here.
Shut up in there! Flight. Talking nonsense. Blasphemy. The commander said we had to keep you alive until morning. The commander said nothing about keeping your tongues in your skulls. Shut up.
I already took his card.
Can I tell if I'm being physically observed? Or is that someone from outside of the room where we are?
It would be somebody outside the room. It's far enough away and through a grill.
I'd like to go and try to wriggle over. I'd like to try to. I'll use my feet. I'll use my toes. I'd like to try to grab the glass, tuck it away behind me.
Okay. Nix.
Got a glass.
We hear that something is going to be happening somewhere outside the square. I assume it's going to be a public execution. Sinus has to save face. But they couldn't do it to martyr them. They've been preparing some sort of statement.
Do you know how many are set to be executed?
No.
Right.
So I can start this at your leisure.
Start it.
Right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
What if I started it in about 6 minutes and 20 seconds?
Say that's not good enough time to die.
Wait.
Wait, no.
No, Nick.
Oh, what the hell?
Sorry.
We'll be right back. Any volunteers? Pellio.
For what?
You realize that we have orders to cut your tongue out before we leave the room. So if you have any last words, I suggest you make very, very good use of them.
I'd like to use cunning mimicry technique to.
Too bad it wasn't cunning linguist technique, right, Five Paths?
Tell that.
I'd like to.
My man.
I'm using cunning mimicry. I'm also using masterful performance. I'd like to, as perfectly as possible, replicate the cadence, the speech quality, the accent of River Jade's voice.
Okay.
And I'd like to use like.
You want to tell me what you're saying and then I'll say it?
Oh my god.
You know what? Write it down.
Oh, I like it. That's the limerick page.
While
so
that's
you get
happening.
a blank page. That's the limerick.
All right, we'll move out. You're going to be watching, I assume?
Oh, I see everything.
When this is done, you don't kill me and I don't kill you.
You seem smart, Bear. I think you understand not just the value behind what this holds, but also the value of those 3 individuals.
All I know of is our 3 executions, that's it.
You either stand with Sinus against them, or you stand against Sinus. And then you just happen to be on the same side. Funny that. I want to try to instill a minor tie of trust in the Solar Exalted.
Gutsy move.
Yeah.
That's 2 extra dice for you. This is going to be a manipulation socialize,
Okay.
and his resolve is 4.
Is with instill, can I use existing intimacies that I know?
Yes.
I'd like to use the hatred of House Sinus.
Well done. It's now 3.
Oh no.
Point of willpower. It's too late. I should have spent a point of
Did you
willpower.
botch?
No, it was only 2 successes. Oh, that was a really bad roll. Let's do
No,
that.
a really bad roll was if you had
Would be if I
botched.
botched.
That is correct.
But that was
Yeah.
very sad. I was like, I won't need to spend any more. That was dumb. It's okay.
Live and learn. Oh, too soon.
No one's living and no one's learning.
I'm learning.
He just grunts and moves on. River Jade.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Pass? I'm kidding.
See how his hand is twitching.
Okay. Have they left?
Oh no, they're still there.
Okay. They didn't react to me spitting at them?
You get the impression this isn't the first time.
Yeah, that's fair. So I guess while they leave her alone for a second, she's just going to calmly sit next to Zio.
Were there 4?
4?
My dancer. 4 pages. Were there 4? Will there be 4?
Yes.
Good.
We just have to make it through the day.
Why?
I think we're all in trouble, Zio.
Why?
We lost. Upstairs. Outside.
No. There is no loss. I am with you. I am with Pellio. We have an understanding.
You do?
You're the strongest.
She just kind of laughs ironically slightly at that and kind of just looks at her. Good laugh. Where her right hand used to be.
Everything is easy when you have such friends.
And when you don't?
Then you're alone. Have you decided to be alone?
No. I've got you.
I have you. You're the strongest.
I'm not.
You came for me.
It was 5 paths. I think he saved you.
I should thank him.
Yeah. You can when we get out, yeah?
My systems are not online.
Online? What is that?
And she presses, and her chest opens up to show that strange metal and the strange lights on the inside.
Is she fully out of the bag, or is this
She's-
under the bag?
She's still under the bag. It's a
So-
very big bag.
Okay. Can I see it, but they can't?
That's correct.
Okay.
And you can see that only one of the lights is lit, and the other 2 are dark.
This is the first time I'm seeing this.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
Is it possible to get a sense of what I'm looking at exactly by like trying to tap into my crafts? Or?
Roll me your intelligence occult.
Okay.
With
Yeah, I
a
have
difficulty
4
of
now.
3. We're going to go back to Pellio.
So the action I'm taking is a little bit different than what I initially suggested. So I'm using cunning mimicry, and I'm using masterful performance. What I'm attempting to do is deliver a speech as River Jade, and in doing that, to instill an intimacy in the blacksmith, because the speech that I'm delivering contains an encoded message that, well, we'll see.
I thought you were going to. It contains mature subject matter.
Viewer discretion is
in what emotional tone are you looking to deliver this speech?
It's delivered with an air of folksy nostalgia, and a
Yes.
yeah.
I know it well.
It's,
Yeah, an understated, not necessarily overtly emotional, but just like, you know, yeah, like a couple of siblings remembering the good old days.
God.
Yeah, do it, RJ.
So would you like me to roll for the social action, or do you want to hear the monologue first?
I want to hear the monologue because that's going to determine the basis of your stunt.
This is your stud.
All right. I
Hope
you
there are no
can
grammatical
read-
errors.
Oh God. Can you read my handwriting? Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
As you're looking that over, we'll go to 5 pass for a second. So you have a glass.
Yeah. If I can, curl my legs up to my hands. I just want to get the glass into my hand and try to snap off a small piece of it
Okay.
and palm it. Just keep it. And then
Roll me your dexterity crafts.
Oh, no.
He has crafts.
I have a craft.
sews.
That's right. All right. Okay.
Two extra dice.
He's so nervous.
Difficulty is 2.
3 successes.
Okay. So you manage to crunch the glass beneath you without making too much noise, and you now have a relatively sharp sliver of it in your hand.
As I speak to Jaya, which I will do in a moment, I'd like to start doing something else, John, which we'll see if it ends up being a thing. At the monastery, obviously we practiced a lot of meditation to the extent that where we were able to calm our physical systems and sort of slow our heart rate. I'd like to try to reverse that process on myself so that I can increase my heart rate, increase my blood pressure inside my body.
Okay.
Just to start that process now.
Very well.
As I'm kind of breathing to myself, I will then turn back to Jaya. How did you find me?
I have a compass.
Oh. And you knew that I was going east?
The compass points to what you desire most.
Oh.
Oh.
Still got a bit of time left.
Where is it pointing?
Yeah. Where's it pointing now? How about now? Oh my God. Sorry. Jay, I didn't know. But I was oblivious to many things.
No, you didn't know.
Or perhaps just more focused on others.
On Pellio.
He's very dramatic. Takes up a lot of space in my mind, yes. That's right.
How much space?
That's how I found you.
What do you mean? You can read my thoughts.
No. But I can hold a compass and follow a direction.
Hmm. Can you sense where it's headed now?
They took it from me.
Oh. Just close your eyes and think with me for a moment. Jay, I want to be where you are.
You are where I am. We're in a wine cellar.
No. You are above. In the air. And I want to be there, too.
I believe I can fly. I'm not finishing the rest of those lyrics. I believe I can touch the sky.
Jaya, you should write that down. It's pretty good.
I think about you every night and day.
Oh, wait, this is getting serious.
Spread my wings and
Is it
fly
hot in this
away.
wine cellar? Is it just you? Or sorry, is it just me?
I believe I can soar.
Do-
But they threw me in a wine cellar and they shut the door.
Oof.
I don't know what this is accomplishing.
Master Stilllight taught us to look towards what we desire and to where we believe we should be. Because even if that is not our destination, it leads us to where we should be. I'm not at my most eloquent in this wine cellar right now, but what I'm trying to say, Jaya, is that our paths don't end here. I know it, and I know you know it too. You just don't. You're too scared to see it. You think you failed, but you haven't.
Then let's get out of here.
That's right. If we have to escape, we're going to do it with a bit of style.
What?
And
Pellio.
yeah, 5 Paths gives her a wink for sure.
What does it look like?
5 Paths does it.
Wait, 5 has what?
Gives her a wink.
Oh.
And then Liz was trying to
She
get
can't
me to
see you.
wink
She has a
'cause I-
bag over her head.
Oh, rip.
So do you.
Oh,
So you just wink into the bag.
damn. I manipulated that glass with a bag on my head?
I mean,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, you
Well
have
done.
appearance 4, so
He's hot even under the bed.
They drew a really ugly face
the
on
bag
the
is like
Look, we can
But it
still
has-
see your six pack.
Yes, 6 bags ascending.
it's the hottest bag I've ever seen.
Put a bag on him. Oh my god, he's hotter.
All right, Pellio. All right, Pellio.
You know how sometimes they say you keep your hammer true and your anvil clean? Well, sometimes I kind of feel like you can never fully clean an anvil that isn't yours, you know? It's like Pop's always said, if the tools you're given are broken, it'll just break what you make.
Oh.
What?
I just repeat the last part, what Pop's always said. It's like Pop's always said, if the tools you're given are broken, it'll just break what you make.
I told you. I warned you, didn't I? And you feel a hand just reach out and start to press, forcing your mouth open. I warned you, didn't I? He reaches out with his other hand and he starts to pull, slippery, and then he uses his thumbnail, thick, to pull your tongue out.
I bite down
On the tongue or his hand?
on his hand.
What's your strength?
2.
And what are any wound penalties that you currently suffer?
I have 2 lethal, 4 bashing.
You're at
Am I-
-2.
I'm at -2. So,
So I'm going to let you roll 1 die, and we'll see if you can resist this.
8.
No. And he just continues to pull.
Oh no.
You chose your last words of those of some bitch.
Can I tell you about my social action, my like instill attempt before you cut my tongue out?
Oh yeah, you know.
Yes.
So in delivering that monologue, I wanted to instill an intimacy of hatred in House Sinus and trust in the blacksmith's ability to manipulate her craft for, in other words, to be very, very good in what she does and also deliberately very bad if she wants to.
Look at me. Look at me. Do you know my name?
Well,
Blue Fang.
No.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm going to enjoy this. And he pulls out a very, very small knife.
No.
Probably like the equivalent of a pocket knife, but you can see that it's made of sparkling white jade. And he just flashes it in front of your eyes for a second. And then a cut. And his head rolls on the floor.
Bridget. Axe to meet you.
I asked you a question.
Oh. I got 4 successes.
He's like, did I do
Whoa,
that?
indeed.
One of these seems to have been damaged. You're not going to be able to repair it here. But the other one is just unseated, and if you pull it out and put it back in, it might make contact. That might be enough. It doesn't mean that she's going to be full, but it might be enough.
Okay. I want to sort of glance at the 2 dragon-blooded that are in the room, like just as casually as I can, to see where they're looking, what they're doing.
Are you waiting for like a moment that they're not paying attention?
Yeah.
Roll me your wits alertness. This is not join battle, by the way. We're
Just to be clear. Just to be clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Battle's not in your
No.
best interests
No,
right now.
I'm no.
You have another 2 dice for that.
Oh, thank you. And what's my difficulty?
3.
Wound penalty.
Is there?
You do suffer wound penalties for this, so you'll lose 3 dice.
Oh, yeah.
Would have been 4.
Hey,
Pain
pain
tolerance.
tolerance. It's a good merit, guys.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna spend a willpower then.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What you can't see maybe on the camera is that Jess took a die and turned it to 8 and then put it on her book, which I assume is the 1 success that she gets from her willpower, which I have to say is kind of amazing.
I've been watching these guys do that for a couple weeks now, and I love
been
it.
doing it too.
I've started
I got
doing it.
it
I
from
love
the
it.
mirror, because
Inspired.
otherwise I forget.
Yeah.
I got 4.
You can tell that there will be a period of time, you'll have maybe about 45 seconds where they're not paying enough attention to you.
Is that right now? I'm going to reach my good hand in and sort of carefully pull it out and then slide it back in.
River Jade. And she closes her chest.
We have to be quiet.
I'm not fully online,
Okay.
but I will help you if I can. What do we do?
I want to look around the room.
I'm in a bag.
Yeah. I know.
Around the room is just stone. It looks like pretty thick stone. You could tell that this was, like remember how you figured out the layout of the building? Seems like it was pretty well made.
Okay. Is there a door that I can see?
There are bars separating you and the two people who are sitting outside your cell. It is not a door. And the bars look like they're just set. There isn't a key, there isn't a lock.
Okay. Is there, like the cell in Numa, can I see if there's any, like, jade that's...
Well, there's you.
Hey!
That's a callback to episode 1.
There's no jade.
Okay. It's just a sliding bar.
There's no sliding.
There's no door.
No door. But bars, maybe they're movable, just not immediately apparent how.
Okay. I might be able to move the bars.
It will take concentration.
Yeah.
It will take resolve. It
I
will
have 4. Minus 3. I have 1 point of resolve.
Sorry.
I can cause a distraction. It will get the bars open, but it will not remove the two outside. It will be a risk. Will you take it?
Is there a window? No. I don't want to spend my 1 point that I have left of essence.
Wow.
But,
I mean, essence is there to be spent.
true.
By any chance, has an hour passed?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I'm keeping track of
Do it.
Good.
Do it.
Spending my last
Yeah.
to know what time of day it is.
She's out, folks.
It is 4:18 a.m. Oh yeah.
I'm confused.
Why?
When I asked, it was twilight.
Yes. There's been a significant period of time. I've had to swap back and forth between them waking up and you.
But I couldn't
So
regain
you
it?
can regain essence.
Oh, yay! next,
Hooray.
next. If only I could.
That would probably be more useful than this.
Oh, God. Huh. I think it's the only chance we have.
We are blood sisters now. Both healed by the same hand. We owe it to him at least.
Yeah. And to Pellio.
Yes,
Satellite. Jaya.
my dancer. Let's go. 5,000.
That's me.
Hey.
What are you doing?
My current plan, as maybe as strange as it seems, if we are to be executed at dawn or brought out. Is that what Jaya said? She didn't say, did she? No, she said something about we have a couple hours left.
Yeah, she mentioned execution. If she didn't, you can assume she
I can
did.
assume that, yeah. My current plan is to wait it out, to be brought to the place where we are to be executed. I will start working on my bonds with the piece of glass if I can. I mean, unless they're made of like metal or some shit. Just to try to loosen them or fray them anyway.
You can start cutting away at them. You were just going to wait here?
Well, I suppose...
Commander's on her way out. Okay. I'm just watching the prisoners.
Oh, no.
Just keep an eye, all right? Just because she's not going to be here. Okay. Well, I'm here. I'll keep track of it. That's fine. You hear footsteps go through. And then you hear the weapons. You hold them in my office and no one else is to touch them. Do you understand? Yes, Commander? They're not to be executed before dawn. Do you understand? Yes, Commander.
Oh, God.
Very well. I ride west. Don't screw this up. And she leaves.
Can I get a sense, if possible, of the direction that she is going presumably leads towards an exit. The direction from which she came might have been from her office? Can I get a
That's
sense
a
of those
reasonable
directions?
assumption.
Can I get like a... I'm painting myself a mental map of what the outside of this cell might
I
look
should
like.
point out that the voice is familiar to you.
The female voice, the commander.
Yes.
Like how familiar are we talking here? I don't know. I look to Jaya. I was thinking of doing something a bit drastic.
I'm all right with drastic.
I don't think you're gonna like it.
I'm all right with not liking it.
Oh.
It's a lot of moaning at my table tonight.
Whatever do you mean? It's emotional moans.
John.
Oh dear.
Groans.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch where you're going. Christ. Well, he doesn't say Christ. That's not really something they say in creation.
Watch where you're going. God, Pellio. You're the
Watch where you're
Christ.
going.
Thank you.
Saturn, knower of death.
Knower of down.
Watch where you're going. I'm sorry. You need to calm down. Just stand here and make sure that nothing else happens. I'm supposed to... Fine, just go. And you hear walking away.
Okay, I'm gonna go and get to my feet if I can, and go and quietly go scope out what's going on outside the door. If there's any like
Okay, so
great.
you've cut through your bonds then?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you cut her bonds or not?
Yes. Jaya
Just-
is.
Come on. Sorry, there's only time for one.
Bye.
Okay. You get to the door and there is one guard outside, one of the dragon-blooded. You recognize as the one who severed Zio's head. Or one of the ones who severed Zio's head. Pellio. you feel a 40-pound weight fall onto your lap.
The bag has been taken off me. I see what's going on.
The axe that she was formerly sharpening has fallen onto this person's head and cut through its neck, but you can see that she staggered and let it fall, and now its haft falls onto your lap.
Oh, damn. Okay.
This thing is made of jade.
Yeah.
It is an artifact weapon. You can attune to it for 5 motes.
Yes.
Maybe do some personal.
And she takes a step back and she looks absolutely horrified, and her mouth opens and she's screaming, but nothing's coming out, and she falls to her knees. And then she looks up at you and she doesn't understand what's just happened as the other 2 members stand up and they start walking towards you with their weapons in hand.
Can I attune to the weapon quickly enough, and do I have enough wherewithal and dexterity to try to sever the bindings on my hands and on my feet?
You can cut the bindings on your hands and on your feet on the blades of the axe. It is massive.
The diagram.
Yeah.
Just check in here, Pellio. Sorry.
It is known as a grim cleaver.
Yikes.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Grim cleaver is a
But also
thick-bladed
never
axe
made them
forged as an alloy of one of the 5 magical materials. It can be a useful tool as well as a deadly weapon. Unlike the common axe, the grim cleaver is too large to be used as a thrown weapon. It's a medium artifact weapon. We're not going to get into its stats right now because people are advancing on you. But you are now free of your bonds, so that's pretty cool.
I think I'm going to have to join battle.
As they step towards you, you hear from the outside, Guys, I think something's happening over down by the... And they're distracted for a moment.
I charge.
It takes 4 swipes. It would have been more pleasant if it was 2. But it only takes 4. And there are 2 more dead on the ground.
I will strip the bodies. I want to wear Green Fang's outfit. And I want to assume Green Fang's persona.
Well,
Blue thing?
Blue Fang. Green Fang is
Fang
outside. Yeah.
Well, Green Fang is worm food now. Well, actually, I guess
So is
so
Blue
are the rest of
Fang.
you.
Yeah.
You're all the same to me.
Oh, yeah! Took that insult and turned it around. Do.
That's racist. Oh.
So I want to. Where are we?
But you're all assholes.
Yeah. Disguise. There was
Flawlessly
impenetrable
impenetrable
disguise. I want to be Blue Fang.
Now, that is something that you can do. I'm going to point out that just before people get super charged up on their own heroics, you are still within the barracks. There are at least 12 other dragon-blooded, and that's assuming that the rest of them haven't disappeared somewhere, or that there weren't more held in reserve. There are still a lot of them, but you are now in disguise. And the blacksmith is freaking the fuck out.
Okay. I lower my voice in the same, not as Blue Fang, as myself. You did brilliantly. Tell me who you are.
Bridget.
Bridget. Bridget? Is River Jade your sister?
Yes.
River Jade is in trouble, and we have to help her get out. Can you do that?
Is she evil?
No. She's not. In fact, she is the essence of goodness. And she's a hero, and she saved my life more times than I can remember. And more than that, she's taught me the truth of myself. Help us.
And she just pukes everywhere on the ground.
Oh boy.
Classic bridge.
Pellio has that effect on me.
I use the other two corpses to just like wipe up the puke. I'm like, Bridget,
I've never killed anyone before.
you didn't kill a person just there, you killed a monster. And you did it brilliantly. We're going to play a little game, shall we? I'm going to hand you back this axe.
I can't even lift it properly.
That's all right. We're going to pretend like I'm leading you to the execution chamber. And we're going to gather up the other prisoners. And we're going to do exactly what everybody expects us to do. I'm going to be that chap whose head you just took off. You're going to play you. Can you do that?
I'm not a very good actor.
If you're anything like your sister, I'm going to have to disagree.
River Jade.
So River Jade just kind of like moves closer to the bars. Now, for my own confirmation, it's just bars that face them, and they're not in a cage themselves.
No,
or
they're not in a
anything?
cage themselves. They have access to the outside.
Great. Can I see like a hallway or something?
Yep.
Okay.
There's a hallway that leads down and then a staircase that leads up.
Is there anywhere to hide? Okay. Okay.
Are you ready?
Are you?
I believe in you.
I believe in you too.
She rips out of the bag and runs towards the bars, reaches out with her hands, grabs one of them by the shoulders and pulling the arms through the bars and just leaning backwards, and the other one gets up and rushes across. So she's got the guy. The woman gets up and runs across to see if he can figure out exactly how to stop this thing that's just woken up.
Great. While she's doing that, I'm gonna go low to the ground and pull open the bar, but since I can't use my right hand, I'm shoving my right elbow through it and using the might of my muscles, my biceps, and my left hand to pry it open big enough, hopefully, to fit both me and Zio.
Okay. I'm gonna need you.
Can't use any charms.
No, you can't use any charms. You don't have any essence. What you do have, however, is willpower. Is that to reduce your wound penalties? You can ignore your wound penalties for 1 round by spending a point of willpower.
Yeah.
You can feel the strain and your bones and muscles start to scream out against the bars, and then you can hear just this and you've managed to open something that, look, if you were wearing your buff jacket of many things in your chest, then you probably wouldn't be able to fit. But right now, you can slip through if you make it fast. Zio is quite tall, but she's also quite slender, so she should probably be able to fit as well.
Okay. I'm gonna slip through then.
Zio continues to hold, and then she reaches out as the other one pulls out her sword and just starts to drive at her, and she just continues to hold, looking at the other person. She's giving you an out. You can leave now, or you can try and save Zio. You can't do both. What do you do?
I go.
roll limit, I think.
I think you do.
Is it my limit trigger? That was well timed, John. Oh,
How much limit do you have right now, my friend?
my, that was a 7.
That was a 6.
So I got 3 limit on that.
What does that put your limit at now?
Oh, God.
6.
Okay.
Oh, my stars.
Stars and guards.
So I ran up the stairs.
5 pass.
I clue Jaya in very quickly on the plan.
Okay.
Jaya, we're going to get that man in here. You perhaps make it seem as though I'm trying to escape and you want to quiet me down or something. All right? We're going to scream bloody murder.
5 paths, no. There's no way out of here.
I'm going to leap up onto the ceiling and stick there.
Okay.
So I'm pressed against the ceiling like this. I've still got a small shard of glass in my hand, and I'm waiting for this guy to come in.
I'm sorry.
The door bursts open, knocking Jaya down, and she falls maybe a little too heavily. And she keeps her hands beneath her. He slipped through the walls. I've never seen something like that before.
I'm gonna take.
He goes,
yeah, go ahead.
You can't lie to me. And he draws a sword, a massive diclave, and just raises it above his head.
I'm going to whistle like a sparrow, like a bird, something very strange that he wouldn't expect to hear from the ceiling. As he tilts his head up, his mouth will naturally open a little bit.
Yeah.
And using the increased blood pressure that I've been building, I'm going to take the small shard of glass, I'm going to cut my wrist and spray blood from my hand into his mouth from the ceiling.
That's cool.
And then I'm going to drop down on his face!
What a baller! So cool.
I might die this way. I don't know, guys.
Yeah, it's so worth it, though.
So worth it.
You can
So
see
cool.
foam just start to develop in his mouth, and his eyes start to bulge, red and then redder. A single tear of blood rolls down his face as your fists and knees do the rest of the work.
Yeah.
Pellio,
I'm tapped out of my
you are starting to lead them out?
I'm starting to, them being Bridget.
Yeah.
Bridget and I. Yeah, Bridget and I are leaving.
And the corpses.
Yeah, I'm leaving the corpses.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the corpses.
I mean, they're covered in puke now.
Yeah, the puke-covered corpses can stay where they are. Presumably, whatever's just happened with 5 passes made a little bit of noise. So I'm trying to follow whatever noises I can hear. I'm just gonna put it that way. I feel like I still have sensory acuity prana activated. So I follow the direction of wherever I can hear commotion.
It's funny that the commotion isn't coming from 5 paths room. It's also not coming from the basement. It's coming from outside.
Okay, I scan the hallway, I find a nearby window, and I rush out and have a look.
There's a man standing in the square. There's fire on either side of him, and he has thrust his hand up and he's holding a piece of paper. And he's shouting with enough force to wake up half the people in the district. And he's reading out names. Just 2 names, but he also manages to mention that one of them is currently working in the Imperial office just on the Blessed Isle, and another one is currently leading a battalion which is headed down towards Chiaroscuro. I have your secrets, Sinus. Now, out here, and in front of everybody, show me that you're willing to do what it takes to hold on to them.
As
You hear a clipped voice. House Sinus does not recognize those who choose to terrorize. Get him.
Well,
And you start hearing feet scrambling to move outside.
as in the voice of Blue Fang, I cry out to, all right, mobilize the guard and go deal with this rabblement. I'll take care of the prisoners. Not a great Blue Fang impression, but
It's probably convincing.
Yeah, no, that sounds right. Okay, we're on our way out.
and then I wink at Bridget and I just whisper, follow me.
The three of you are now in the barracks. And the barracks are emptying. And there is a man, possessed with either insanity or courage, holding a piece of paper, and then in the other hand, he merely holds a stack of parchment. Individual loose pages with ink on them, not necessarily names, but enough that it looks like it might be several copies.
Nice.
What a trickster.
And then he looks back at someone who no one else can see. Do you know my heart's pumping right now? I had to read children's books to feel this way.
Nice.
Some of them are out on the roof. Some of them are out on the roof holding bows and arrows. One of them shuffling up to the edge of the roof and just like holding the bow taut, everyone else following suit. And then there's the three of you. What do you do?
Have we found each other?
You can attempt it.
I'd like to try to find 5 paths in River Jade as soon as possible.
You do find 5 paths. 5 paths has escaped the room and has Jaya in tow, who's looking at you. And she's looking at you, and her eyes are narrowed somewhat.
Yeah.
He's got a bloodied arm.
Right.
But he's,
It looks fine. I mean, not great, but
No.
fine. I mean, he does have 6 packs ascending.
Pellio, you're alive.
I am alive-ish. How are you?
We're here.
This is Bridget, River Jade's younger sister.
She's struggling to hold up a grim cleaver.
Pellio, I believe our weapons are being kept upstairs, in an office. I can try to find them, and then we need to get River Jade.
We moved together, and let's find River Jade.
Here.
River Jade, you can arrive at this point.
I do. I see them, I kind of just like tuck my arm behind my back.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Right
Oh
Oh,
boy.
Jesus.
Oh Jesus.
River Jade, I found someone you might know.
Bridge? She's just gonna move at that point to hug you around the.
So she lets her hands fall so that she's holding the grim cleaver at her knees, so that you can wrap your stub around her.
I do. At that point, I don't care.
Now it's clear that the two of you can see that she is missing her right hand.
Bridge.
And she just buries her head in your neck and she starts to sob.
like holds her head.
I killed someone for you.
Oh, Bridge. I'm sorry. I love you.
I don't know what you are, but not enough to see you go like this.
She gives her like another squeeze.
Whoa.
Light one. She isn't trying to kill her.
Crunch.
Very light.
Oh.
Like obscenely light. And then steps back.
What happened to you? What got you in trouble with these people? Why are you here?
Because I believe in a better world. Why are you here?
Because I thought the world was just the same. And she
I grab it.
hands you the axe,
Yeah. Just,
which
I'll
you
take that.
lift relatively lightly.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I twirl.
All right. You don't need to.
All right,
That's
Prancy.
our Pellio.
I don't know if Mom and Dad will ever understand.
Yeah, I know. What matters most to me is that you understand, at least a little bit.
I promise I'll try.
She's gonna lean forward and gently kiss her on the forehead.
You've got to go.
You're coming with. If you want.
I'm scared.
Me too.
So there aren't people in here now.
But, you know. We're.
Guys, all right.
We're okay.
Yes.
Get-
Zio is downstairs.
Perception of
She
the
held off 2 guards so I could escape.
Oh.
But I tried to fix her. She was able to stand up. Likely you're doing.
We could kill you now. Not until you know where every single one of these copies are. The instant that I don't report back and they get published everywhere I want them to be. So are we going to talk a deal or not? Told you that I do not make deals with terrorists. Kill him. I don't care. Commander, we can't do that. Did you just disobey my direct order?
Oh.
Fine. Don't kill him. And then she points to the archers. Kill that one instead. And she turns and just gets onto her horse. And then you see the one who disobeyed her, you see it, just arrows. Oh. And he just falls over.
All right.
You notice that one of the arrows, however, just like misses and then almost hits almost hits Bear. And he lifts one foot to let the arrow sink in and then steps down and then just crunches the arrowhead under his foot.
Badass. Why is he so badass?
I don't have time for these games. I'm old and it's past my bedtime.
Here, here.
But if you don't want to talk, and then he turns and starts to walk away, and then you hear the commander just gallop off. And then one of the other, what do we do? What do we do? What do you do?
Did I get a sense of where Blue Fang stood in the hierarchy? Was he just? I mean, presumably he didn't have as much power as the commander who just trotted off, but he seemed to have. Or am I?
No,
Do we have a sense of?
I mean, he was in charge of guarding you,
He
so
was in
it's
charge
probably
of-
relatively
Yeah.
important.
We're guard.
Relatively low level.
Gar.
Pretty low level. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. We're going to.
Just put Blue Fang on the
Yeah.
this guy.
So the
actor.
commander is gone. She's galloped off. That's it. The person who spoke up against her just got arrowed by his own house. Now it's unclear. Blue Fang is a dragon-blooded. He is a dynast, and he, seems to have a certain amount of appeal. So you might be able to get something done with that.
We need to get Zio out of here. I'm going to go track that.
Has anyone seen Sight of Light?
No,
No.
but I know our weapons are being kept elsewhere. Perhaps we can find more information.
Okay.
Can I be looking for another entrance into the barracks while this is happening, John?
Absolutely. You are. So now I assume that you're on the move, moving
Yeah.
around. There is a back entrance that leads out into an open field. If you walk into there, you're almost certainly going to be seen if anybody is looking out that way.
Okay. But could I get in that way by hugging the wall now that everyone's looking the other way?
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to try to do.
Can we see that back exit from where we're standing, from the vantage point that we have? Can we?
Yes, you can. Are you going to go down?
I mean, River Jade, can you show me where Zio is? Bridget, you and I can go down there and grab her. Can you grab our weapons and we meet in the back door?
Bridge, do you want to go down there?
I'll follow you.
Yeah.
Anywhere you want me to go.
Do you want to come with me? Okay. I'm gonna take Bridge.
Okay. I'll go find Zio.
Okay.
Maybe just give us 2 minutes. Jay, let's go find our weapons.
When you find the commander's office, you can see inside there's an iron war fan hanging on the wall. But there is indeed a massive hammer in here, known as Hammer Time.
Nice.
And Ukavuna is also there as well, but Slash Dance is not.
The fuck?
You also see that there's a chest, and inside there's a buff jacket which has a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah, it
That's
sure
it?
does.
Not inside the buff jacket, it just has a buff jacket, and then the rest of it, you see there's jade, there's a curious amount of moon silver.
Damn. Surprised they didn't look it up.
River Jade wasn't holding on to those. Before the performance, she gave them away.
She might be there.
I'm going to also glance around briefly to see if the commander maybe wrote any notes of the engagement that day to see if there's any information about who she took prisoner or anything like that. But if not, then not.
Sure, you can take the time. What about the rest of you?
I'm running down to find Zio.
By the time you get downstairs, you can see that Zio has been backed into a corner. There's now cuts along her arms as she is just trying to protect herself. But the two who are beating on her don't notice as you approach.
As subtly as I possibly can, I walk in, again in character. And then as I get close enough to them, I just say, "Leave it to me. Stand down."
And they stop, and they turn, and they snap to attention.
And I tell them that there's been some commotion out the front gates. Probably just more of the same rabble. Go up there, do a routine check, come back and report back in
The
about.
other prisoner escaped, sir.
Sorry, what?
The other prisoner escaped.
On your watch?
Time to be executed.
Get out of my sight. Report to the front gates immediately. I'll deal with disciplinary matters afterwards.
They run upstairs.
fuck.
While they run upstairs, I want, since we're, I presume, upstairs, is there anywhere that Bridge and I can hide?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Roll me your wit stealth. You now have access to everything. You can lift hammer time, but it's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
What's my difficulty?
It's 2.
Oh.
Remember the wound penalties.
Oh, Jesus.
Can I roll?
How many dice do you have?
3.
Then no, unless you spend willpower, you cannot.
You're out of willpower, aren't you?
It won't,
Beth?
if I spend willpower,
Then I
it
suggest you
cancels.
stunt like fuck.
Okay.
Think about that.
Okay.
The commotion is there, and Bear just walks off, and he's smiling, and you see that there's tension, and then 2 people just stumble out into the courtyard.
Whoa.
What do we do? Where's the target? Target's gone. There's nobody here. It was all a ghost.
Those were the 2 people who ran out?
Yeah.
Do I still need to roll?
Well.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I interrupted. Do you want?
No, go ahead. What do you want to do?
In front of me, is there like another like set of bars? Is there like what's? Can I look around and see what's in my surroundings?
You're upstairs, so you're in the barracks proper.
Okay.
You are relatively close to the mess hall, seeing as how you were just outside the wine cellar.
Okay. Okay. Bridge, hop on my back.
She
Get on my
takes
back.
the jetpack position.
Great. I'm going to, with her on my back, run as fast as I can towards the mess hall,
Okay.
hoping to sort of like jump over the, I assume there's like a kitchen counter, jump over that and jump down and hide.
Whoa.
It's a decent stunt. They don't see you as they move forward and out. Zio is damaged, and you can see that one of her chest flaps is half open. And when you see there's one of the strange metal with the light is dim. Dancer,
Zio,
dancer.
Oh boy.
Zio, stay with me, please. Pretend you're my prisoner, and I'll find you safety. I promise you. Please.
I could never be your prisoner. You do not have the chains to bind. You are a dancer. My dancer.
I feel I let you down, but I won't now. Follow me. And I just try to, like, as gently as possible, place her hands behind her back to make it look like I'm escorting her.
Okay.
Again,
so
in
you
character.
start to push her out.
I start to push her out, and I'm trying to make my way toward that back door.
Okay. Out the back.
I'm bringing as many things, like Jay and I are going to try to bring everything down to
Between
River
the
Jade.
2 of you, you can.
Yeah, okay.
Out the
A
back.
lot of stuff. And
RJ leaves the mess hall to meet them.
Out the back.
How hard would it be to scale the wall?
The archers start to turn and head in,
into a
and
field.
then there's a small flare of fire off into the distance where Bear had walked. And then you hear, no, he can't be let. Sinus does not respond to threats. Fire! And the archers turn and they start to let loose volley after volley after volley around until one of them gets jostled. And the archer falls off the top of the roof
Toward me or away from me?
toward you.
Can I try to catch them?
It's going to be a wits, athletics.
What's the diff?
Difficulty is going to be 2.
Okay. You know
But the
what?
real difficulty is this is going to break your stealth.
Nix, you old softy.
Wow.
Soft in her old age.
Well, that's 6 successes, so, you know.
Catch him like this, like a basketball or a pizza pie.
As they fall, as the archer falls and you catch them, you see that some of the dragon-blooded turn around and look, and there's this. What? Who are you?
I don't answer.
Fuck.
I press up as
The rest of you, by the way, are gone out the
Goners.
back.
I press up as close to the wall as I can and start inching along towards the back entrance, the barracks.
So there's still soldiers in the front who see you and you're holding somebody. They can see you if you just walk to the wall. That won't put you into stealth.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing anyway?
Well, what else is around?
Well, the barracks, so it's outside. There's a big kind of pavilion in the
Yeah.
front, and there was a gate that people had to pass through in order to get to the square. There's several soldiers out here. Some of them are dragon-blooded, and there are archers on the roof. You are
But am I next to the barracks or am I in front of the barracks?
You
'Cause
are-
I thought I was around the side.
you are next to the barracks. You are on the side.
Okay. Can I get into an alley from here?
You're just going to try to leg it.
Yeah.
All right. I want you to roll me your disengage.
Okay.
Dex dodge.
Thank you.
That's what I have here.
Your difficulty is going to go up by 1 because you are carrying somebody. That's going to make it a difficulty of 3. Go ahead.
Six.
So you start to run, and then you hear, "You idiots! There! But at that point, you are in an alleyway. You're on foot. You hear people chasing after you, but you are faster than they are. That's separated. You guys are out the door. You're in the back. Where are you headed?
So before, as they are leaving the door, I'm going to look at Bridget. Bridget, go with them. I'll join you in a moment.
So she nods and just follows Pellio.
I'm running back inside.
Oh,
Where are we going?
I'm finding still sight of light. I need to know.
Of course.
we'll meet you at Ultros.
I don't
Right.
even know if she's still alive.
I know.
River Jade.
They're going to be going back inside any moment. We can't lose both of you.
Then I'll have to be fast. Do I have hammer time?
I need-
Yes. Here you go. Here's your buff jacket and all the shit.
Cool. You have hammer time. Hammer time's too large for you to wield. It is a two-handed weapon.
Oh my god! Why?
I could balance
River
it.
Jade.
I'm going to just put hammer time. Can someone prop hammer time against the wall slightly at an angle right now?
Oh, bitch, yes.
I do so.
I'm stepping back a little bit outside, and I'm making a run for it, and I'm going to jump on it, hoping to sever the bottom part of
The
the hammer.
haft?
Yeah.
Okay, so crack. I mean, you have craftsman needs no tools. Not that you can spend the votes, but crack.
Whoops.
You manage to break hammer time, but part of the top of the hammer, as it's being pressed against the wall, it shatters, and the time of hammer time falls away,
Yeah.
making it smaller, more manageable. But you now, instead of having a grand gourmand, you simply have a gourmand
Hey,
named
Bridge,
Hammer.
what do you say if we get out of this? You inscribe time on this hammer.
Okay.
She picks it up with her one hand.
Where do you go?
Is there anywhere in the alley that I could hide this archer?
Yeah, you could roll her under some garbage.
It's just what you deserve.
Oh, it's so sad. How far away is Ultros, please?
A fair distance. It would take you about 20 minutes to walk there. But you are quick.
I left my horse nearby. Wait,
You did leave your horse
is this
nearby.
person conscious?
No.
You know what? I have an awesome horse. I trust my horse.
Yes.
I run to my horse.
Okay.
Excellent.
Put the archer on the horse.
Okay.
Wrap her arms in the reins. Try to keep her as secure as possible.
Okay.
And whisper to Morga, go to the woods.
Morga just, Nexus. Where are woods in Nexus?
I'm hoping that she'll start going like in the direction of her hideout. Not all the way there, but like
Okay.
in that direction.
All right,
West.
so leave Nexus.
West. Go west.
Wow.
See you soon, bud.
Okay. Horse starts moving.
Ugh. Okay. And now I want to climb up the nearest building.
Okay, you climb up the nearest building. You can see that these guys are milling around in the back of the barracks. River Jade has just kicked her hammer and broken it.
I've run inside.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do I see this?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'd like to run back towards the barracks.
Okay.
Attempt to re-enter stealth, for what that's worth.
Okay, roll me your dexterity stealth. 2 extra dice.
Great.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
I think we're agreeing to take
What's my diff?
Jaya and
Bridget.
Two.
Bridget
To Ultros.
and Zio
Oh, you know.
And Zio.
to Ultros.
Oh, we got a lot of people.
Ultros.
Hey, he specifically said. Actually, he didn't say if we need a place
Well, I
to
mean,
hide.
Okay, you are in the building. You managed to leap from the roof and just dive through a window.
Ooh, sweet.
Land, roll, and stand
So
up.
cool.
I
Does she
mean,
stand up in front of me?
Yeah, sure. 8 successes. Go for it.
The fuck?
What are you doing? Get back out there.
I need to find sight of light.
I think I found her.
You think?
I think.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nyx holds out her hand to take River Jade's hand.
River Jade kind of holds up her right arm and then puts her left. Best not to talk about it.
She grabs
You start hearing people coming back into the building.
a look at the window and just jump through. Wow.
You know, why not?
1, 2, 3. Hip.
Yeet.
That
Done.
Splat. Oh. Ow. My bones.
Well, that went wrong.
You manage to land on the outside. As people start to filter back into the building, there will be shouts, there will be cries, there will be notice that prisoners who are being held are no longer there. But you'll be long past that. And away. And Ultros is a man of his word and knows a place where you can stay. It's under his shop, in the room where meat is curing.
Okay, well.
There's smoke in here, but the room just behind it has a couple of cots, not enough to accommodate all of you. It's hot here. Not unbearably so, but almost. Fife has Zio is quite wounded and now only has one functional chip.
Hi.
Can you do anything?
I think between River Jade and I, we'll be able to figure something out. I don't really fully understand how Zio works, if you'll pardon me saying.
Dancer.
Zio, I failed you.
No. For
Yeah,
She had mentioned something about 4 pages in our cell. Something like, had Pellio been given them?
And then you hear from above, "The fuck is this horse?"
My girl. Go upstairs.
Will you bring me horse?
It's my horse.
Fine.
I trained her to take cover in the forest, wait a few hours, and then come find me. It's been incredibly useful.
Whatever.
What?
So I not cook horse.
No.
I cook thing on horse. Will you bring me Sinus Archer?
This is not for you. You don't get this.
I hate Sinus Archer.
Go back to your kitchen.
Sorry.
Go back to kitchen, Ultros. I need place to stay, Ultros. Look, my friends are all fucked up, Ultros. Oh, but I'm going to be all to Ultros. I don't get it.
Nyx is taking the archer off of Morgan. Morgan.
Let me bring Sinus Archer into Ultros. Fuck. Fuck. When she sets this archer down, she doesn't look like whatever you would expect. It's a Sinus Archer dressed in Sinus Archer clothes, but there's bright crimson in several places.
Is that...
This one is too injured to be with the other archers on the barracks. I know it doesn't make sense, but it...
River Jade's gonna go closer.
Nyx puts her down gently.
Get her
In a
some
cot.
Get her some water. Let's tend to her wounds.
The
Just
form
doing the thing.
shifts. And then you can see that side of light just lies there for a moment. And then her hand comes up, groping.
River Jade gets closer and takes her hand with her left hand.
I knew it. I knew I could kill you in an instant.
She's just gonna reach down and like kiss her on her forehead. This time it's a romantic kiss to the forehead, not a sister kiss to the forehead. Differentiating.
Context clues, yeah,
important.
I think we got it.
Thank you.
So much light.
Yeah.
I wish I could see it.
You can't.
Her eyes do not open. But at least I know it's there.
I'm sorry.
No.
She's gonna gently press a kiss on each eye.
Is everyone here?
Yeah. We'll tend to your wounds.
I don't want to do that experiment again.
Which one?
Okay, I get it. It's too bad I can't sell pork rinds outside of Nexus now that city is closed. Exits, wharf, everything.
By order of whom?
Well, he's not where you are. You're still in the little hidey hole. He's just speaking very loudly for your benefit.
That's nice of him.
Seems like open water between two houses. Seems like fugitives not knowing where they are.
Can we trust
One way or the other. Cannot sell pork rinds. But I think we'll end the session there.
Woo!
Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned escape to make, guys.
Yeah.
Here's a spoon. Here's a
Second?
spoon.
Yeah.
Get digging. Let's go. Yeah. Here it is. Guys, we're alive.
For now.
That's the optimism I want from River Jade.
I want you to think very carefully before you choose the decision point for this episode. I want you to make sure that you post that into chat, but I want you to think. And while you're doing that, what did you learn? Jess?
Oh God. So yeah, River Jade did something really against her like core, which was to leave Zio to the two guards so she could escape. It's kind of hearkening back to things that she's been told by other people for the last time, that, you know, she can't save everyone and that sometimes you have to make a hard choice and to save as many people as possible versus the individual.
Makes sense. Scott?
I learned that Five Paths is sort of seeing Jaya in a new way. She's always been kind of separate from his maybe more defining intimacies of like what he's looking for in the world, but I think he's starting to realize that they may all be one and the same.
Amir?
In the minute and a half during which Pellio was speaking as River Jade in the voice of River Jade and Bridget's father for a time, it suddenly dawned on him that that he was lacking something like that, or that he envies their family for that. You know, he kind of wished he could have been their older brother, you know, or something. And he's also got a new intimacy. Yeah, but no one will ever know.
It's true.
Because he has got 12.
Liz.
12?
Nyx
No.
did what she always does when things seem unwinnable, which is make it so that she survives. But what's new is that she immediately made plans to get everyone back. Because the old Nyx would have just gotten on her horse and left Nexus behind and never come back. And she was very sure that once she decided that they weren't going to die, they weren't going to die. Like, she's like convinced.
She just made that choice. That
Yeah.
was it. Like, well, you know, this is happening.
Yeah. She's like, nope, they've been taken prisoner, they're not dead, and then that was her reality.
Okay.
I always see like wheelings and dealings as like a very Eclipse thing, but everybody can wheel and deal. It's just a question of like how we do it, right? And I feel like the Nightcast like appearing and being like, I have information for you.
Hello.
Make a deal.
Yeah.
It's great. It's
It
great.
was very well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, there's something you said that really made me laugh inappropriately.
Was it the isn't this exciting?
Yeah.
Yes, it was so funny.
Isn't all this war so great?
Isn't this exciting?
And it was
The
apparently.
decision points being
It's
voted
always
on now, your options are Pellio impersonates River Jade to connect with Bridget. 5 Paths outspiders Nyx, clinging to the wall and poisoning his opponent.
Disgusting. Absolutely.
Or Nyx catches a sight of light and doesn't throw her with the trash.
Sorry.
Nyx is going to be harvesting your blood like constantly, so you just like watch it.
Oh, what's that?
No,
Oops.
I don't think so.
Hey, does anybody want
Take
some more
some
cheese?
wire.
Whoa! Well, you know, don't let it go to waste.
Oh, I accidentally slipped this wire against your arm. Whoops.
Oh, crazy how that happens.
Nyx, why are you watching over me while I sleep? No reason.
Excuse me.
Does Pellio get to keep the Grim Cleaver?
He's holding it, isn't he?
He is. Okay.
Then I
just
see no
asking.
reason not to.
All right.
Can it also be named Slashdance?
Yeah. Can it?
Well, Slash Dance was not included in this stash.
I know Slash Dance is no longer, or to be discussed.
What a feeling.
Oh
I feel like we
no.
had another name for another sword. You
Yeah.
have an idea.
Yeah.
Well, he's got an
What is it?
axe.
It's an axe.
Oh, right.
How about Cleave Me Alone?
X me no question.
And I'll tell you all the lies.
Oh, God.
It's a very long.
Pellio
Naked
impersonates
stuff.
River Jade to connect with Bridget is our decision point for this
Congratulations.
session.
Thank you.
You've dug your way out of a hole. But the interesting thing is that the way that you managed to dig yourself out of a hole is twofold. One of them is based on what happened last session, and the other is based on what happened many sessions ago. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness or the absence of malice can bring rewards in the end. It will be 5 experience, 4 solar experience. But there was an achievement earned.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
My guess is you.
Oh, mine is you.
Mine is you. Yeah.
Really? What's the guess here? What's the guess?
Spending all your
Yeah,
essence.
emptying the
Yeah.
jars.
Oh, yeah, running on empty.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened before.
I don't quite want to. Mine has to.
Running on empty. first character to run out of motes
Damn.
I'll tell you off camera.
Oh.
goes to you. Because you just can't get enough of achievements.
Just can't get enough.
I'm the collector.
Oh, God.
Oh dear. But yes, you managed to get your way out of a hole. You are not out of the woods yet, but you are out of the hole. And I look forward to seeing how people will discuss this one on Beanduck's Discord server. You can find the link below. Probably also in chat at some point. Some kind soul usually posts that in there. And you can discuss that. And you can even discuss the news that we have to announce.
Yes. So, mid-August, specifically the week of August 12th, is going to mark the end of season 1 of Beanduck's Twitch channel. So that means Full Party, Cosplay Cave, Friend Request, and Depth of Field will be concluding their season 1s, and Beanduck will be taking a brief hiatus before beginning season 2. Now, what does this mean for Full Party?
The Full Party campaign will end before the end of season 1. Our last stream, which will take place August 12, will be our recap, which means that you have 2 sessions to finally bring down a great house here in Nexus. You've managed to collect yourselves. You've managed to find some injuries along the way. But I know that there's a couple of things that Ultros isn't telling you. I know that there's a couple of things that Bear has in his back pocket. And I know that if anybody is capable of doing something so outlandish, so crazy, it might be the 4 of you.
It's true.
So I have that to look forward to. And I hope that you'll tune in for what will be a pretty damn exciting conclusion. And then Exalted will get to take its break alongside the rest of Beanduck's shows, and then season 2 is going to come back better than ever. But it will be the end of this campaign, so join us. Look forward to it. Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you.
and thank you, and we'll hope to see you soon. Tomorrow,
I was about to go bang! Tomorrow we have
sensed
Friend Request at 6, and then we have Depth of Field at 9. Our guest is Stu Golfman. Yeah, Stu Golfman, and he is he's done a whole bunch of different things. He's like a comedy agent primarily, right? And apparently he and Eric are old friends, so it's going to become a lot of rabble-rousing.
They're going to talk about oyster shucking. They're going to talk about...
I know, you can't control him. And then Wednesday we have Cosplay Cave at 6:30.
that subscribe button is right there. And that subscribe button is going to help you get more of this content and help Beanduck as it kickstarts its season 2. Please consider, or if not, something even better, tell your friends. Tell your friends that you can tune into youtube.com/Beanduck, where you can see VODs of all the shows that goes up on Twitch, as well as some other projects that Beanduck's been known to do from time to time. Thanks so much for joining us. Monday, we'll be right here. See you next time.
Let's do it.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Do you want a hook or like a facsim? Like what can I design for
You
you?
should put your hammer into your stump.
Hammer hand!
So
Hammer
I
hand.
wanted to do something Ash style from Evil Dead 2,
Whoa! Sorry.
but we'll see.
Guys, do you like it?
Shove it in my stomach.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
a take
god.
off.
Whoa, whoa, River Jade. Holy shit.
You really
Terrible.
are heroes.
Yeah. Heroes, folks.